Do a little inspection here on what I found today. Let's see what we got. I let you drive around my mind. I can't count the times you made me feel like I'm nothing and played me like a fool, saying drink another whiskey, pop another pill. Money makes you happy, heaven isn't real. You won't find nobody to love because your heart's too broke. Now I know you ain't nothing but a liar. Got some disturbing news. The Romites are back. Disturbing. So, but it's been a quarter of a year since I've really seen anything going on in there with the Romites. And that's actually really good. Now, the drone cycles are, she's picking up on laying drones too, so, which is why I'm noticing them. So you got bees that, so these Romites are all over the place. Whether I had still some lingering in the hive or not is not relevant, but Romites can linger in the hive without producing any offspring for 3 months. So I might have had a few lingering around, hiding in some corner somewhere, who knows. And then once the drones started being laid, they went in there and started the process again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull another panel. I started this process again. So I just take my vegetable oil, same old stuff again. And so I will continue this process of putting the vegetable oil everywhere on these panels. Now that I got 2 hives, I got 2 hives now that I have to do this to. Yeah, I'll be twice as busy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this panel, I'm going to pull the other one, because I did the same thing as I'm doing right here to the other one. And it's been in there for about a week. And I'm going to see what the level of the infection is. So when I pulled the panel out last week, I seen about 12. That ain't too bad. Better than the 200 plus I used to see. Jeez, I'd only leave it in there for a day or two and I'd see hundreds of them. Right? That was like really bad. And so just seeing this many, I feel like I'm oil painting Bob Ross. And it's just pretty little trees. Little waves. Yeah, I do oil painting too. When I find the time. All right, so this panel is ready to go. And so what I do is, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to see how many is in there. And if I see above 20 this time of year, I'm going to do this every 4 days, including a powder shake. So right now, I'm going to go out there, replace the panel, pull out the old one, see the count. If it's less than 12, last week it was 12. If this process is keeping them in check, because what happens is those things hatch out of there, and they come out and they're moving around. The bees are tapping them, and they're bumping into bees, and they get knocked off, and they're falling through my 8-inch hardware cloth onto the panel. Where typically they get knocked off, and they would just jump on the next bee walking right on by. The bees don't attack them. The bees don't even really see them. They're just too small for even the bees to see them and interact with them, or kill them, or fight them, or whatever. So they'll just jump on the next bee coming by, and then boom, then the infection multiplies, right? But by having this process where that inadvertent knockoffs fall out of the game, they're just out of the game. They're no longer participants, right, anymore. So by having that system, you're just constantly catching them. You're constantly reducing the population compared to what it would have been if we hadn't intervened and created this process of intervention, constant intervention, 24 hours intervention. You don't have to stand there and say, oh, "There's one," there's, in the house. There's one. It's automatic. It's like an automatic sprinkler system. You set the timer and it waters it, right? Automatic varroa mite catcher. And so I'm gonna go out there and pull that out and take a look. So follow me along, will you? Let's go see what we got. Here's what my panel looks like. Oh yeah, please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell. I'd appreciate that. So here's what the panel looks like. Looks like when I put that panel in last time. Poor girl, she got stuck in there. I didn't see her. Oh well, that happens. Yeah, that's a drone. Well, that actually looks like a drone. Got big eyes. What big eyes you have. So that's in a week's time. And actually what I can do is just do a little quick take a quick peek. So I got my magnifying glass here, and I can take a quick peek and just kind of see what I got, right? So I got this chair right here, this chair over here, like this. Got some light coming down, and so what I'll do is just drop this down a little bit, like that, and voila. All right, so I got my screen here. So I got some pretty good light here, so this is pretty good light. What I can do is take this little thing here and see what we got. Well, yeah, I'll have to take it inside. So far I don't see anything, but I'm suspecting there's got to be something. You'd think there'd be something. Yeah, they're there. Oh yeah. They're there. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to do a sugar shake again. So it doesn't look really bad. Yeah, they're there. It looks like there was more than there was last week. So last week it looks like there was about 12. And there's more than that now. Okay, I'm back in the sugar shake. But this time of year, that's not bad. I mean, for this time of year, going into July, to have, that many mites going into July, and then now that I know that they're there, right? For previous years at this time, I had no idea. I didn't have a system, really, to. Oh, looks like I cut myself. Bloody mess. I didn't have a system to really get an early heads up, to do early intervention. In my opinion, if the earlier that we get on the varroa mite problem, the more likelihood our hive is going to survive, and it'll go into the winter healthy. And so that's kind of it. All right. So I'm going to do the sugar shake here and go do that inspection. And I'll go get my stuff. Another sugar shake. And please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell. Appreciate that. And I'm going to go do the sugar shake. Shake it, shake it, shake. Shake your groove thing, shake your groove thing, yeah, yeah. Okay, here comes the powder sugar shake. And so, let's see. Okay, oops. Oh, that one raised her butt. Yeah, when I see a girl raise her butt, I raise my antennas. Like, what? Don't raise your butt. No butt raising. Oh, there's earwigs in here. That's why it's not a good idea to leave cracks I am going to put on my veil. And the reason why I'm going to put on my veil is because there is a lot of earwigs, and these girls are up here fighting with them, and they already look agitated, fighting these earwigs, and so I don't want to get stung for the third time in my face. I got a lot of propolis, so they're trying to seal this stuff up to try to keep those earwigs out. Oh my gosh, girls, I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to powder the heck out of you, but that's just your fate. So they're doing a pretty good job. Looks like they only got 3 frames left to finish up. That means I got a little time. Little time, little time. Got little time. So I'm just gonna shake 'em on a baby. Ouch! Oh, she just killed herself. Oh, they're acting really aggressive. Really aggressive today. I just got my butt stung. Yeah, they don't like me up in there. I think it's because I was pounding on that thing, making that noise. Yeah, once I started tapping that with that tool, she came out right to the noise. She came right to that noise to address that noise and stung me on my finger. This girl's really aggressive. Yeah, this is the most aggressive I've seen them. Another earwig. Yeah, there's so many earwigs. Yeah, I can see why they're peed off. They're having to fight these earwigs. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. The earwigs. So these girls up here have been having to deal with all these doggone earwigs up here, and they are not happy. Don't blame them. That was a lot of earwigs. Yeah, I haven't seen them agitated like this. Not this high, but yeah, they're angry. Who knows how long they've been battling those doggone earwigs up here. I come in here, I'm just another disturbance. I'm just adding to the problem of the disturbance. I got stung on my finger. All right, fine. So I got stung. Well, that's my third bee sting that I've had this year. I didn't get any last year. None, not a one. This year, two of the bee stings were of my own ignorance. I gambled and I lost that situation. But this one here, I understand why I just got stung. I seen all these earwigs up here, and they were battling those things, and who knows how long that's been going on. That they've been up here fighting. And so they've been aggressive with these earwigs, and I come in here taking their hive apart. I'm just another tormentor as far as they can tell, and I'm just another bad person. I'm glad I decided to put my veil on, because that one was really aggressive with my face. I would have got stung on my face again. Yeah. Good reaction. Okay. Then when I get done with this, oh, my hand's starting to swell up already. Geez, that's like 2 bee stings in less than 3 months. Three bee stings, 3 bee stings in less than 3 months. 2 months maybe, I think, somewhere in there. My last bee sting, I had a bad reaction, and if I have another bad reaction, getting stung on my finger, I might have to get myself an EpiPen or two. Yeah. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Just want to get that a very strong smoky thing going on down there, so it goes all the way down to the bottom. All right, girls, you can go back home now. There you go. Watch your body. Ciao. Okay. Home, I'm home. Okay, now I'm gonna investigate the investigate that panel. Well, that one was just, she was trying so hard to get my face. Oh my gosh. She's like, I want to get your face so bad, I can taste your face. She was bouncing off this thing. Oh, I wanted to sting you in your face. Oh, shoot. And so, yeah, got me right on my finger. Three bee stings. So the first year I had my bees, I had like a dozen. Dozen bee stings. Dang. Yeah. And almost all of them were foolish things that I was doing. You know, if anything we do that's new, it's like a learning curve, right? we gotta kind of like learn, the hard way. Sometimes we can learn the easy way, and sometimes there's only one way, and that's the hard way. You can see how it's all white there on the panel. So they're gonna eat all that up. Yeah, last week when I did it, it was all white like that, and I don't know, 10 minutes later, I didn't see anything. They ate it all. Yeah, and so I don't see any girls coming out that are white. So my little concern I have now is maybe I'm not putting enough powdered sugar down there, getting them, because I like to see them coming out all white, like albino looking, Yeah. And yeah, my finger's throbbing. I don't know where she got me. Can't tell. I don't know. My finger will let me know later what area was mostly swollen. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if my whole finger just swells up like the elephant man. Now, last time I got stung in the face, both times right in the left eye, right here, both times. It's like what happened was when the swelling started, then it started to go down, the skin overlaid each other because it stretched it. And not only that, what happens is the cells, a lot of the cells go into what's called senescent freeze. It's like and they just kind of freeze instead of doing in there and being active and a participant in keeping everything pumped up and all that. They just go dormant. They hibernate, right, for a while until they come out of that shock, and then the skin will tighten back up. So I had, like, when the swelling went down, it just, like, their skin was just hanging. Like I had Bell's palsy or something. I've had Bell's palsy. My whole side of my face just, it just hung. I was like 33 years old, 32. It just hung, and then just drooling out of the corner of my mouth. Gosh, I think I had that for 3 months or more, 6 months. Yeah, long time. And so So the cycle has begun again, varroa mite cycle. And anybody who experiences, um, you know, who has bees, they'll know what I'm talking about. Varroa mites are something that you can't eliminate organically. Uh, Varroa mites is here to stay. I don't think they even knew what the heck it was 50 years ago. Uh, yeah, people just go get their bees and get their honey. That's all there was. Simple. But because these varroa mites have spread all around the world, including Australia. Australia was the last haven for no varroa mites, and but when it came to Australia a few years back, it was like a tsunami, and they were not ready. They were not ready. So many beekeepers had to close up shop. They lost all their hives because initially Australia's law was if there's any signs of any community where there's any varroa mites, the law was that everything had to be burned. All the equipment, all the hives, all the bees, everything had to be destroyed. They tried that for a while. you know, burn, baby, burn, and the inevitable happened. It swept through all the bee colonies, and now Australia is like everybody else with bees. You don't have to, take all these countermeasures all the time to get bees, to have honey, to keep them. And so that's it. And there's no navigation today. So, and here's another thing that I'm going to share. That's a different kind of bee. that's a different. That's not a honeybee, but it's a bee. It's just a different one, different breed. And so, oh, my nose is starting to go numb. So is my face. So is my arm. Yeah, when I first got bees and I'd get stung, it always stayed isolated right there. But I'm noticing now the last bee sting I got, it attacked my nervous system, from head to toe, inflamed, and I'm starting to get a little sensation of the same this one. So I might have to keep some EpiPens around in the future. Yeah, my jaw is starting to feel numb. Now, you know how you go to the dentist and you get a shot, Novocaine, and it numbs it? Yeah, my jaw is starting to feel like that again. And so what happened is when I checked myself in emergency after a couple of hours because it was getting worse and chest pains and tightness. So I went and hung around at the emergency room. I checked myself in too. And I stayed there for 3 hours until the chest pain went away and all the tingling and all, everything went back to normal, other than, of course, the pain of the initial sting on my face. And just checked myself out. I guess I'll do that again today if I start experiencing something similar. So yeah, anytime you get stung by something, if you're experiencing chest pains of any kind, shortness of breath, because I was experiencing like a little shortness of breath, tightness in the chest after the bee sting, and so yeah, you probably should just go hang out at the emergency room. I don't recommend necessarily, signing in so you have to pay to sit there. The VA paid for me to sit there for 3 hours, and I didn't see a doctor. But the VA, because I checked in, the VA paid for it. And I should not have checked in. I should sit there. Because, you had all these emergency people there. If they would have seen this guy all of a sudden going into some sort of shock, they could have taken care of the situation. And then the VA would have paid for something, right? I'm on full VA benefits. And so, I think that if we get set up with something like I have with the screens, it's not going to eliminate the varroa mite stuff. Of course not. They're coming in from other places. Those varroa mites are everywhere in this community. On the flowers, on the bees that are in other hives, or being transferred back and forth, and you've got these marauders from other hives. They will go into other hives, even healthy ones. They'll fight with them, and a mite will drop off that one onto the board in there. That mite will jump onto one of your bees, and boom, that hive's infected. It's just how it works, man. Or your bee goes out harmlessly to a flower, another bee has already visited, and maybe it had multiple varroa mites on it, and one of them wasn't fully attached, and then now it's on the flower. Your bee goes there, jumps on your bee, boom, your hive's infested. Boom. So, yeah, we can get rid of all the varroa mites in a hive, but it's only temporary. I tried to go organic. The first hives I had, I'm just gonna let nature do its thing. Yeah, I lost both hives with that kind of thinking. Both of them died of viruses and varroa mite infection stuff and DWV, and yeah. So now that I know that that's just not an option, organic is not an option. So I have so the closest thing I'm going to get to organic is having that 8-inch cloth, doing the powder sugar shaking once a week when in peak varroa mite season, because this is pushing peak varroa mite season right now. So by getting it early, keeping it down during the actual peak when most people start losing their hives, who don't keep it down before they're going into the winter. All my hives should be okay without having to use all these chemicals and pesticides. I used pesticides one time, and I put it in there, 2 strips, just like I said. Put this strip over here on this group of bees, put this other strip over here on this group of bees, and you're done. I put the strip of the group of bees over here, put another strip over the group of bees over here, and I walked away. I don't know why, but I started feeling anxious. This Chinese-made product that's supposed to kill varroa mites, and I came back 30 minutes later, popped the top just to take a peek. Half of my bees were dead or dying on the bottom of the inside of the hive. Oh man, I removed all those strips, left the top to air out, but it was too late. It already weakened my hive so much that that hive eventually died. Yep. And that was my last hive. That was the last one. The other one just succumbed to the varroa mite just a couple weeks earlier. So this is the first hive that I've been able to get through the winter. You know, through spring, through summer, through fall, through winter. This is the first one I've been successful with. And I'm going to contribute it to, until I have good probable reason to assume otherwise, that it had to do with the screen cloth. Dropping down. They just walking around, fall off, which is normal, through the screen, and they're done. They are taken out of the equation. They're no longer going to be contributing to the population or the increase of the population. And you can help manage keeping that population down until they go into their winter or pre-winter. So late fall, there's usually a massive die-off. So late last fall, after I think I was just starting to get the varroa mites under control, and then there was this massive die-off, 10,000 at least, on the ground the next day. So they were eliminating the population. They were decreasing the population to save on food for the winter. That's normal. All hives do that. They'll have multiple die-offs in large groups, and so that's normal. I had 2 of them. I think I lost, it probably looked like maybe 20, 30,000. They just took themselves out all at once. One afternoon. It's like they just all of a sudden turned, all right, Mary, you're going to have to turn that off switch now. I'm doing it, Mary. Louise, we're all doing it. Come on, it's our time. And they just take themselves out. Nature's so cruel. So cruel, so cruel. Oh my gosh. And so, and they're going to do the same again. So if I go into winter with these two hives, or how many swarms I might catch or splits I might do, I need to anticipate seeing the same thing. Because I have this flat surface here, that's a solid surface, they don't like disappear into the weeds or the dirt. I come out, there's just pile that's sitting right there. It's like they just went right there. And so yeah, interesting stuff, nature. And that's kind of it. And please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell. I see that as like leaving a tip. And appreciate that tip. This tip doesn't cost you a thing. It's free. You get to help somebody out, right? It's free, and you get to help somebody out. That's pretty cool. And I'll keep you updated on this varroa mite cycle. Now, because this is my first season of actually getting this far with beehives, and I've got this system that I've come up with, I'm going to be able to keep everybody updated who's following this channel at all on the actual progression, what I did with each step. Today I'm doing this, and here's why. Today I'm doing this, and here's why. So I'm doing this progression, so if anybody wants to adopt this routine, and they see me making a change, and I'm making it at a certain time because I'm getting the early signs of some, I'm saying, hey, do this. Here's why. See, this is, look, here's the evidence, reproducible, evidentiary. Here's why. Do it, man. Do it now. Don't wait. Or you be pushing the destruct button. That red one, don't push the red one. Right? And so I'm going to be doing recordings all through up into fall. And throughout the winter. I made videos throughout the winter on what I was doing with all my sugar shakes throughout the winter to see the progression of my system. So when they go into fall and she stops producing eggs, because she will for a certain time. I'm not sure if mine ever did. I kept seeing orientational flights all throughout the winter. And I can tell they were new because they looked new. They had the light new birth look, right? So when the new girl is hatched, they're really light. And when as long as they're in the hive and they haven't orientated out yet and got exposed to the sun and all that kind of stuff and the weather conditions, they're going to stay light. But once they come out and they start doing foraging and stuff like that, they'll start to darken, and their butt will get that black part of their butt will start to get bigger and darker over time. So I can always tell which one's a new girl that's never been out in the sun and who's an older girl. And so all through winter, I would see new girls coming out. They look like brand new. Kind of like a new car smell. It's like a new bee smell, but a new bee look. And so, these girls, the ones I had, all those girls are dead. The only girl that's alive right now is the queen. All the other girls that were through the winter are dead. That's right. That's just how it works. Now, winter bees, when she lays them in the fall, late fall, those can live up to 200 days. Yep. And their job is to keep the queen fed and to take care of any brood that she might decide to lay, depending upon your type of weather you get there. Their geography plays a big part on how bees behave throughout the winters. And here, our winters are really mild. I think we've seen like 28 degrees last winter. Not very many days either. We saw a brief snow for a couple of days and it was gone. So these girls had a really mild winter. And we had quite a few nice days. And so I would see them all winter long coming in with food. And I'd be scratching my head. Here it is, the end of December, all through January. I'm going, where are they getting all that food? That don't make no sense. I'm looking around, for flowers. There ain't no flowers. Nothing's flowered in the early part of January and June and nothing. So I'm on my phone, what is flowering in Eugene? And AI goes, nothing. I'm like, okay. And they're coming with yellow and orange all through winter. I'm talking November, December, January, February, March. And then, of course, that's when everything started flowering here. So I understood why they were coming with orange and yellow then, but not through all winter. Every week, all week. Anytime there was a nice day, it wasn't storming, they were out bringing in pollen and nectar all winter long. Where are they getting it? Where do you think they got it all winter long, through the winter? Cold weather, nothing flowering anywhere. I walked around the neighborhood. Somebody got a greenhouse or something that they're growing stuff and leaving the doors open? No, nothing. Right? And so when they came out of winter, these girls came out strong. So you just saw how many girls were on top. Yeah, there were so many earwigs up there. They seemed so agitated too. I've watched them literally go in combat with those earwigs, fighting, man, like that. Yeah. So, and that's what I was saying on another podcast, is that I try to make the environment in there so that they feel safe and they're not always feeling like they're having to fight something to survive or to feel safe in there. And earwigs are a problem. I'm not sure where they're coming in. I have to put some more stuff at the bottom. Maybe they're dropping out of the tree, crawling around. I don't know. But yeah, that's why I got stung. They seemed agitated. And all the other times I've taken off the top, docile as heck. They didn't come to my face today. And I seen like 8 earwigs. And those are just the ones I saw. You notice how many other ones were here and there, already inside and all that. Yeah, they're agitated. My bees are agitated right now. They're pissed off. Having to do the battle thing in there. And I was just, to them, I'm just another adjutant messing with the hive. And I had that one that buzzed me a while ago. She followed me all the way to my garage, buzzing me, tapping me, all the way to my garage, before she finally left me. And then when she left me, I came right back and finished my job, doing my powder shaking. I wasn't sure if she was going to come back and say, I can't believe you came back here. But she didn't. She didn't come back at me. So anyway, all right, thumbs up, ring the bell, subscribe, appreciate it. And I'll give an update on that panel. I'll do a further investigation, so when I do my next powder shake, and I'll give the results on this one, the closer results and what I found on this one. I'm going to get my headlamp on. I got a 3-level magnifying thing, and I can just zoom right in. I can take a dot and make it look like a big basketball. Pretty cool. Yeah, it allows me to see all the legs on the bromides. They just look exactly like crabs that I would catch in the ocean. And I would boil them in these big, huge pot. Turn on my propane and have this big, huge pot. And I'd put them in there, and they sound like babies screaming when they would. That sounds cruel, don't it? I know, it felt cruel when I was doing it. I'd put those crabs in that boiling water. They were still alive. And they would scream. Sound like babies screaming. Spooky. Yeah, spooky. You ever caught crabs and boiled them in hot water when they're still alive? Yeah. Very uncomfortable, unsettling. All right, man. Have a good one. Bye now. Do a little inspection here on what I found today. See what we got. I let you drive around my mind. I can't count the times you made me feel like I'm nothing and played me like a fool, saying drink another whiskey, pop another pill. Money makes you happy, heaven isn't real. You won't find nobody to love because your heart's too broke. Now I know Oh, you ain't nothing but a liar. Okay, what I found was a little entertainment. I found mice. So this is my get in depth finder. Yeah, depth finder. So what I'm looking for, I'm gonna turn some light on the subject. And so last week I saw about a dozen, and so today, oh, there's one of those gnat hive beetles. So today I'm doing more thorough investigation. And this thing, this little one, you got to keep your eye closed. So what this is good for, so I got another one here somewhere. There it is. So this one, the two will allow me to say, okay, I'm not sure if that's a mite, and then I go like this, and then I go, shoot, yep, sure enough. So there's two there, and yeah, they're all up in here. So it looks like they're all congregated right here. So this is where the drones must have hatched out of. And it looks like some of them they were crawling over to infect the rest of the hive. And as they were crawling over to infect the rest of the hive, some of them made it over there and some of them made it down here. And this is where their life ended. So I don't see much over here. In fact, I don't. Oh, there's one there. Yeah, you hear some here. Okay. So yeah, they made it over here. Yep, they're there. So yeah, there's quite a few. So I see a lot of my sugar shake from last time on there. And there is quite a few mites. I'd say there's probably about 50 mites down there. That's a lot. That is a lot of varroa mites. So they're bad. And I see a lot of, I was hoping that a lot of my sugar did eventually make it down here, because that tells me when I did my powder shakes, it was going all the way down to the bottom, which is what I want. I want it to kind of get all the way down. The sugar is like really, like sugar, sticky. That's what happens is when that powdered sugar gets onto the wings and the hairs, because bees have hairs. I got some that still have their winter coats. They look like they got a flight jacket with a fur. Yeah. And so, so this powdered sugar gets on all their little hairs, and they have moisture that comes off their body like sweat, right? But they don't have sweat glands, but they do have moisture that comes off their body, and that moisture gets attached to that powdered sugar and becomes sticky. And they clean off what they can as individuals. The other ones come by, you got something on yourself, Louise. Come here. And that powdered sugar also will work its way under the legs of the varroa mites. So the bees are trying to get all that sugar taste off their fellow bee, and they're going to work that varroa mite free, just inadvertently, just through the grooming process. And it's not an intention; it's just inadvertently. And so, yeah, this is a pretty good varroa mite cycle going on, and it happened quick. I powdered sugared 1 week just to knowing that this is the time of year that the drones and there's going to be more. And after 3 months of not really doing anything, every time I would check, there was no varroa mites. And so all of a sudden, there they are. the cycle has started once again. So in 1 week, it went from only 12 that I noticed after a week of my panel being in, and the next week, it blew up to 3 times more, right? Tripled. The amount of varroa mites tripled in my hive in just 1 week. Now, those varroa mites were already there before I did my first powder shake for this, summer season, late spring. They were already in there before I found them. And they were already breeding, and the cycle had already begun. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be seeing that cycle continue to not necessarily grow, probably shrink, but because the cycle was already in there, I'm going to be seeing an increase at first, but as I dominate that cycle and bring it down, it'll reach its peak, its zenith, right? That many varroa mites that I'm seeing on my panel, and then I'll start seeing that precipitous reduction, just gradual, right? Because now I'm in it to win it. I'm on top of it. I'm on it, right? I see what's happening, and I'm in attack mode, and I know why I'm attacking, when I'm attacking, and how much I'm going to attack. And if I see I need to make an adjustment, then that's what I'll do. If I see I need to add some sort of pesticide because I just can't bring them down with the powder shaking, it's still increasing. I've been doing this for a month, and it's still going up instead of down. Then I'm gonna take it up a notch, right? Bam! Take it up a notch, and I'll get some Apigard or some other thing, or maybe even a acrylic acid, and spray it in there to try to help bring that down. And there you go. But in the past, the last 2 seasons, including last year's, because at this time last year, I had no idea that I was infected like it was. Right? But now I do, and I'm going to do something right now. It's like, with cancer, it's best to get it early in the first stage before it gets to the 4th stage. It's like melanoma. You get that early, it's almost 100%. Everything's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Right? Early. Same thing with these varroa mites. They're like a cancer. You gotta get it early. And that's kind of it. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, and I'll make some other podcasts about my process and how it's coming along. And you have a good one now. Yep. Bye. Double take.